Alright, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I am Is There No One Else, and I am going to be covering the 3.2.4 patch notes. As you guys know, like I said last week, if you've been following along with me, this is going to be the last patch notes before Clockwork City. Read through it, saw some good changes. Wanted to do a quick video about it. Also going to briefly cover the Witches Festival. If you guys are newer to the game, if you're looking to level CP, grind a new character, please go check out that video. Basically, I just highlight the grind spots I've used for my 11 characters, and what's worked for me, how to maximize your time so you're not, at the end of the day, you don't want to waste your time grinding. You want to grind, get your character leveled, and then play with it. So that should help you out if you're, relatively new to the game. Maybe a couple spots that you guys haven't seen before, give you some place to look. So yeah, let's cover the patch notes first. So we're just going to go over the PvP stuff once again. Combat and gameplay, Warden, Green Balance, Secluded Grove, increase the cost of this ability and its morphs to 90 ultimate up from 75. So what they were saying before is this ultimate was too strong before. Basically, like Wardens have really good ulti gen, and so they were able to pop this ultimate quite a bit. They wanted to keep the ultimate the way it was, like its own unique thing, but what they wanted to do is a couple patches ago, if I remember correctly, they reduced the amount of healing that this gives, and now they increased the ultimate as well. So this got a pretty substantial change. 90 ultimate is a difference. However, with decisive, with the new Asylum weapon, I'm not sure if it's enough, but I think the combination of both of those, reducing what it does and increasing the ultimate, really puts this back in line. Maybe it's still going to be a little bit too strong, but this is a lot better than it currently is. So pretty good change in my opinion. Dungeons, emotes, housing, justice system, yada yada yada. Combat balance. Now, people have been talking about this for a long time. They're like, oh, it's not in the patch notes, it's not in the patch notes, it's not in the patch notes. It's in the patch notes. Dark Magic, Crystal Shards. This ability and the Crystal Fragments morph no longer stun the enemy hit. The Crystal Blast morph continues to stun the initial enemy hit. So, if you run Crystal Frags like most Sorks do, it is no longer a CC. If you want a CC, you are going to have to equip one. Rune Prison's now a stun. You can, I'll find a way to, I'll be fitting that on my bar. This is a change. Spoiler, we wanted to separate the function of abilities into more distinct roles. Crystal Shards was overloaded since it had high damage, instant cast, stun, reduce cost. Now if the sorcerer wants to stun, they have to either go through a cast time or deal reduced damage. Okay. So basically when you were deciding between Crystal Blast or Crystal Fragments, it was a no-brainer. Crystal Fragments is way better. Way better than Crystal Blast. I still don't think this makes Crystal Blast useful. I'll still be using Crystal Frags because I want the reduced cost and I want the increased damage when I proc a frag. It is going to take some getting used to, but I was watching a few Sorks test this out, and I don't think this is going to be as big of a deal as a lot of people think. Like on my Sork, for instance, I'm going to take Inner Light off my bar. I'm going to put Rune Prison. You could still get your combinations down pretty well. What this does, though, is this guarantees your burst a lot better. So yes, this is going to be a huge change. You are going to have to add another skill into your rotation, but if you play Sork, you know that when you fight certain classes that your frag doesn't CC anyways. Like anybody that's played Sork and now they're on a Templar or a DK, they know what a proc frag looks like. They block your proc frag. They can kind of count down the curse inside their head so they know when to block so they don't take the full damage. Good players either dodge roll or block that combination anyways, and the fight lasts a little bit longer. Now, when you build an ultimate, like let's say you run a meteor, you hit your curse, you drop your meteor, you proc your frag, you drop your meteor, you hit your frag, and then you CC him right before the meteor hits. And this guarantees that all of that hits at the same time. Now, it's going to take some skill. It's not going to be as easy as it currently is, but you can guarantee that burst now. And, honestly, I think in some ways that makes Sork stronger. I know this is a nerf, but guaranteeing that ultimate burst on tanky builds like Stam DKs, Magicka DKs, Magicka Templars is going to make Sorcerer very nasty, especially with Mage's Wrath. So, definitely get to testing, get to tweaking, but I think in general, not as big of a deal as it looks. You are going to have to take inner light off. You are going to miss out on 5% max magicka. You are going to miss out on the crit. All that. That sucks. But guaranteeing burst is also very useful. So I guess we'll just have to see how that works out. Rune Prison increased the cost of this ability and its morphs by approximately 16%. So I think it's pretty cheap. I don't think this is going to be a huge change. I'll have to go look. But yeah, I don't think this is a big change at all. I'm pretty sure Rune Prison's pretty damn cheap. So, weapon, one-handed shield, shield wall. Increase the cost of this ability and its morphs to 135 ultimate, up from 100. This is a good change. Honestly, this ultimate should probably be closer to 150, in my opinion. I mean, it's 6 seconds of just blocking and not dying. And increasing this ultimate's good. I mean, it's the amount of ultimate that you get from it is good. The one reflects all projectiles. Really hard to kill somebody when they have shield wall up, and if this is too cheap, then they have shield wall. With certain ulti-gen builds, they can have this up almost all the time. So, yeah, I've fought a few builds where they had this popping off. You know, they had it, and then they maybe had like 6 seconds of downtime, and then they had another one up again. You know, so not that they really could do anything besides stay alive, but you know, if you're going to make Battlegrounds CP enabled, and you're going to enable game modes where they carry a ball or they have to control a point, and you know, stuff like that, it makes builds like that a little bit more viable and big pain in the ass to deal with. So this reduces what those do quite a bit, which is good. Bow, Scattershot, this ability and morphs no longer apply a 5-second disorient to enemies hit. Instead, they now apply a 1.5-second stun. I think everybody really enjoys that. They're tired of the double CCs with the bow. So very good change. Restoration Staff, Panacea, increased the cost of this ability and its morphs to 125 ultimate from 100. Another good change. Panacea is very strong. I mean, when I pop this on my Sork, I don't die. You know, it's 5 seconds of don't die, and that's very powerful for a 100 ultimate cost. If I'm playing with a buddy and he's getting focused and I pop this, he doesn't die. So increasing this is also good. Maybe a little low. I know you're really treading the line here from making it worthless to making it strong. So I think 125 is a good place to be, better than what it currently is. Maybe adjust it next patch if it's still too strong. Now the good changes. Armor, heavy armor, Wrath. This ability has been replaced with the Revitalize passive, which increases the resource your heavy attacks restore by 12 to 25%. Rapid Mending. This ability passive no longer increases the amount of resources your heavy attacks restore, as that effect has been moved to the new Revitalize passive. It continues to increase your healing received by 4 to 8%. So what they did is they removed the Wrath passive. Also, the Rapid Mending did do your heavy attack restore by 12 to 25%. Essentially what this is doing is taking out the Wrath passive and just moving what the heavy attack restore was. In general, guys, heavy armor at a base level is just it's stronger than light armor, and it's way stronger than medium armor. And the reason that is with the Wrath passive gives you almost as much weapon damage as the medium armor passive. And so when you're choosing between sneak cost or something that makes you tankier, heal better, have the same resource sustain, and give you more health with the same amount of damage versus sneak and a little bit more crit. It becomes a no-brainer for most classes. It's like, okay, well, why run medium when heavy does everything that medium does except for gank builds? This now reduces that a little bit, so there's a little bit of this is a good change. Now, with that being said, I do think medium armor needs to be tweaked for PvP specifically. I think they need another passive built in. It just needs to be a little bit stronger to be a little bit more viable, in my opinion, for more classes. Light armor versus heavy armor, due to the spell pen that you get, is very valuable. And now medium versus heavy, there is a difference there, but it's only 200 weapon damage. So I don't know. I'd like to see medium get a little bit more of a bump in weapon damage, or provide a little bit more reduced cost, or something like that. I'm not saying do a whole lot, but it does need to be brought up. to the other two armors, in my opinion. This is a good change, though, in general. They just need to take one more step with medium armor, in my opinion. So, spoiler, we want each of the three armor types to have unique trade-offs. Heavy armor's main advantage is its increased to survivability, while the disadvantage is its lower damage and healing power. Healing power. I mean, you get increased healing. To emphasize this distinction, we've removed the Wrath passive. Now, you can get increased healing in heavy armor. Heavy armor also has Ravager. They have 7th Legion. They have Fury. They have, what's the other? There's one more. They have all these sets that provide 500 plus weapon damage. You're still going to be able to get good weapon damage in heavy armor without the Wrath passive. This isn't a big difference for heavy. It's a good change. It's a good distinction among the armor sets, but there are certain armor sets that are just very, very strong with what they provide, and you're not going to be missing out on a ton if you're running those sets. So, yeah, good change. Need to be a little bit more. Dragon Knight, Earth and Heart, Petrify. Fix an issue where you could still cast this ability against morphs at an enemy immune to crowd control effects. Okay. Templar, Dawn's Wrath. Fix an issue where you could cast this ability and the total dark morph at an enemy immune to crowd control effects. Okay. Known issue, the unstable core morph will currently immediately trigger its area of effect damage if you recast it on the same enemy. This will be fixed before this update goes live. Okay, good to know. Item sets. Merciless Charge. Increase the damage done by this item set's proc to 6,000 damage over 5 seconds, up from 4,300 over 5 seconds. Okay, that's a good change. You know, they buffed the Master's weapons, a lot of the Master's weapons, to bring them more in line. This Merciless Charge buff is also pretty good. Good change, still keeps the 2H viable, in my opinion. Item sets, Timeless Blessing. Fix an issue where this item set's proc was not reducing the cost of Living Vines, Nature's Grasp or Energy Orb, and clarify the tooltip of the item set to indicate it only works for Magicka and stamina healing abilities. Okay. Art and animation, Dungeons and Group content, yada yada yada, and we are done. So, in general, these are all pretty good changes. You know, they're not going to be able to cover everything, guys. They're not going to be able to do all the balance changes. Alcast had a great video last week where he's like, you know what, these balance changes are good, but they're not addressing the main issue, which is PvP, which is, you know, the non-stop zergs, the lag, you know, people playing the campaign, you know. He's right, you know, like, these are good changes. Obviously, they're not all the changes you need to make, well, at least in my opinion. I think there's a few changes that would make the game more enjoyable, namely the reduction of snares, a slight buff to medium armor. You know, light armor I think is in a good spot. Heavy armor is in a much better spot now with the removal of the Wrath passive. Medium armor is just kind of lagging behind both those in PvP. That would be good switches. Sork it's going to be an adjustment. Magicka DK, I'm not sure if they did enough. Templar, I'm not sure if they did enough. Yeah, there's a few more things that need to be addressed, but these are all good balance changes. In general, I'm pretty excited for Clockwork City. It'll be fun to get into a trial and get the new gear and get out some new unique builds for you guys. I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, they just need to, at some point very soon, they need to start addressing open world PvP because, you know, obviously a lot of people zerg. The people zerging are very happy, but, you know, you can still zerg and be happy about it and also provide content for people that want to play in smaller groups. So they need to get that figured out in general. So yeah, that'll be enough of my rambling for this. As you guys know, I talked about it on Friday. Witches Festival is coming here on Friday, October 20th. 100% XP buff, like I said. It'll be the exact same thing. If you guys did this last year, you do not need to do the quest. If you weren't here for Witches Festival, you'll have to go to the Crown Store. You get a free quest, unlock that, do the quest. You get this crow collar thing, and then basically every hour you get the 100 XP. You have to do the crow collar, drink from the cauldron to get the bonus, and then drink the witch mother's whistle to get the bonus, and then you get 2-hour 100% XP buff. Sorry, not 1 hour. So when the 2 hours ends, you have to reapply it. If you're in PvP, you have to leave, reapply it. It'll be just like last year. Yeah, so you get the cool polymorph for it, which is kind of cool. Hollowjack motifs, pages or books. And then they have the Pumpkin Spectre and the Scarecrow. They also have Hollowjack Spectre and the Thicket Man Spectre. So there's 2 new masks. There's the recipes, furniture, motif styles, and then creepy items, whatever. So just like I said, if you guys need grind spots, I posted my favorite ones in the previous video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know, let me know what you think about the changes. Let me know what you think, should be addressed. Obviously this isn't all of it. What I talked about isn't what everybody else thinks. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know. Thank you. Have a nice day.